Good morning, friends. And this is Pastor Kristin Rice coming to you from All Saints Lutheran Church in Phoenix, Arizona. And welcome to Daily Devotions for March 19th. We are live, so feel free to join in and share your comments as we go. I would like from time to time to take advantage of this time with you to teach some spiritual practices that may be helpful to you during these kind of uncertain times. And so today I want to teach a kind of embodied prayer for you today. We store our worries, our concerns, and our joys in our bodies as well as our minds. And so sometimes it's helpful to engage our full selves in prayer as well as just our heads. And the beauty of a physical prayer, an embodied prayer, is that especially during these times of isolation, right? This is a time where we can experiment with new forms of prayer while nobody's watching. So you can step outside your comfort zone maybe just a little bit, but also release some of those things that you might be carrying in your body as well as your spirit and your mind. So the prayer I'm going to teach you today is called the Chalice Prayer. And this is accessible to anybody from any spiritual tradition, but for those of us in the Christian tradition, it's especially meaningful during this time when we're not able to gather around Holy Communion. And so we are going to kind of embody the chalice today and imagine that we're sharing a common cup as we do so. And if you'd like a verse to meditate on today while we do this practice together, think about the verse from Psalm 23, where David says, "You have set a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over." So we'll begin. I will lead you through the practice the first time, and then we'll do it a couple times together. I'll kind of give you some prompts to pray. And then afterwards, I'll do it a couple times in silence, and then you can just add your own prayers, either aloud where you are, or you may want to do them silently, and that's fine as well. So I'm going to give you just a second here since we are live. I will give you a second if you need to close the door, give yourself a little more privacy, or if you need to kind of adjust. It will be helpful to have your hands free. So if you need to adjust where you have positioned your device so that you can have your hands free, this would be a good moment to do that. So go ahead and get ready. I'm going to be seated just so that you can see me a little bit better, but I would encourage you to stand up if you're able, so you can get your whole body aligned. Everybody ready? And if you're seated, then I would just make sure that your spine is nice and straight. Take a couple of deep breaths. So this is how we do chalice prayer. Begin with your hands kind of forming a cup. And imagine in this cup is filling up with all of those things or people that you want to pray for. So we're gonna fill up our cup, fill it up to overflowing, fill it up to the brim with all of those who are on your heart, all of those concerns that you may be carrying, everything that you want to lift up in prayer today. And then as we do this prayer, you're gonna kind of tilt your face toward the sky, and we're gonna bring those prayers up. And so we're lifting them up to the heaven, lifting them up to God, placing those in God's care. And as we do so, you can kind of spread your hands out. You're forming the chalice. And so imagine at this moment that you are letting go of all of those prayers and concerns, and you're giving them up to God. So you're no longer primarily responsible for those concerns, those worries, but God has got them. You're releasing them into the heavens. You're releasing them to God. And then as you release, now your hands are empty, so they're coming back down to your side. So again, I will lead you a couple times through this. We'll do this together, and then you are free to, I'll do it a couple times in silence, and then you will have the opportunity to add in your own prayers to that. So let's do this together. Our cup is full right now as we think of all those around the world, stories we have heard in pieces or whose stories we haven't heard at all, who are facing enormous challenges, who are struggling with illness or with grief or with displacement. All those stories that we have absorbed over the past many days, we are filling up our cup with all of those. Recognizing that you hold each one in your hand, each is a name you know, a child that you have created, a story that you hold. And we lift them up. We lift them up to you. We release them to your care. We fill up our own cup. We fill up our cup with those that we love, those that we care about, those that we are concerned about, and those that are dear to our hearts. Our neighbors, our friends, our family. As we fill up our cup, we are grateful to be connected to these people, grateful to have them in our lives, grateful for the opportunity to worry about them, and our cup is filled to overflowing, the love we have for those who are dear to us. As dear as they are to us, we know they are even more precious to you, and so we lift them up, we lift them into the light of your peace, the light of your presence, the light of your care. Oh, we breathe. We let them go. We place them in your care. We release. And now we place in our cupped hands our very own selves, our own fears, our own worries, our own need for care. And we imagine ourselves as being held in God's hands, as the beloved children that we are. We imagine God holding us with great love and tenderness and cradling us in this fashion, knowing all of our fears and concerns, all of our worries, all of our joys, and all of our stressors, and everything that we are feeling responsible for these days. We know that God is aware of each and every detail, and God holds us just like this. And that God looks upon us with delight. And so we hold ourselves, great tenderness, care. And we lift ourselves up. We breathe deeply of God's love for us, and we lift ourselves up into the light, into God's care. We imagine the light shining on us. We imagine God smiling on us and looking upon us with delight and with great love, with joy to see us reaching out, reaching toward our Heavenly Parent. We bask a little bit in the warmth of that love, that light. And then, because we know that we are not our own, we release ourselves and all that we can't control, and all that we don't own, and all that is uncertain. We release that into God's care, and we know that here and now we are blessed, and we are whole, and we are loved. I'm going to repeat this practice a couple times silently and invite you to add your own prayers. Let's pray together. Thank you for joining me in chalice prayer this morning. I hope that you might consider doing this practice daily, maybe a morning and evening, to kind of join your own body and spirit to God's Spirit. And may it give you strength, may it give you energy, may it give you a sense of peace in the days to come. Thanks again for being with us, and be blessed today.